Right. I've always been overweight, even as a baby. I was born early to an insulin-dependent diabetic mother, a couple weeks early, almost a month, and I was 12 pounds, 13 ounces.
What?
Yeah. And it's been kind of an ongoing type thing. I've got some pictures. I don't have a whole lot as far as pictures of me as a kid. Okay. But first, a meme. This when I first read this little phrase, it hit me hard because I've always had a very strong reaction to if I have some difficulty, I see it as a failure. And this was a great reminder that, you know, if you have a flat tire, you're not going to slash all the up through, you're going to change the tire and go on. And this just kind of really helped me kind of see things in a different perspective. Sad little Julie. What I remember of my childhood's been, I was mostly sedentary. My father moved on to wife number 3 when I was 6, which is around this age here, and successfully avoided paying any kind of child support. So my mom worked very hard to keep everything afloat. She worked like 2 full-time jobs, had clean houses on the side. So she was always exhausted. She was always going from one thing to another. So we ate a lot of convenience foods, a lot of fast food. And even when she cooked at home and that kind of thing, she was very much a foodie and very much enjoyed her food. And you know, like I said, she's a diabetic, but she didn't take care of herself. And so there's a lot of sweets and that kind of thing, so there was a lot of indulgence that went on. Now, while I didn't develop diabetes, and still haven't to this day, I did develop symptoms of polycystic ovarian syndrome about age 8, and it went along with insulin resistance. Now, what that means is that my body produces too much insulin and it doesn't absorb what it produces. So, like, I don't have the gauge that tells me when I'm full. It's like constant hungry feeling. So, eating was like a spiral because, you know, there wasn't like a cutoff point, and eating was fun, and eating was consistent when so many other things weren't in my life. Now, as far as the PCOS, I didn't actually officially get diagnosed and treatment started for that until I was 20, when I was well over 300 pounds at that point. I was the fat kid in school. There was very few others that were anywhere near my size. I got bullied, sadly enough, even by a few teachers. And I did understand that food was not my friend, and I found other ways of coping. Unfortunately, those were very unhealthy ways. And I hate sharing this kind of stuff, but it's being open and upfront that, you know, I was a self-harmer. I punched things, punched myself, cut. It is something that I dealt with and moved beyond, but it's still a part of who I am and who I was. but it was a way I found of dealing with the emotions that were very overwhelming. I didn't share a lot of what was going on with me with my mom, because she was always so busy with work and with other things, and trying to make sure that my life was a happy one and that I didn't want for things. And I didn't want to be the one to make her feel like she was a failure herself, because I was the reason that she was exhausted all the time. So I didn't want to make things worse for her. Now, I'm not going on about this trying to be like a whole, poor me. I'm just trying to give like a basis, like where I've been and how amazing it is that I'm in the place that I am in now as far as mentally, because I've fought to get in a more positive mind frame. I refuse to do like the weight loss surgeries and the diet pills and all of that, because I got myself here and I'm going to get myself out. And I'm very stubborn. And I've had some major accomplishments, but it took a while for me to get there. Let's see. The smallest I remember being, I was in 6th grade and I wore a size 16. And I remember this because that's the size my mom wore, and I actually had like gone in her closet to wear that outfit for graduation, for 6th grade graduation. But right after that is when my weight really started to balloon. This is me around the end of high school, age 18. These are graduation pictures. I'm guessing between 2005 and 2007 is when I hit my top weight, which was 420 pounds. There's a very good possibility that I was more than that, but I didn't have access to a scale that would go beyond that point. So that's kind of where I was at when things really started to change for me. Now I've tried various things to lose weight. I did Weight Watchers. I did various diets. My mom got a physical trainer for me for a couple months, put me on an exercise program, and I found success in doing these various ventures, but things move along and go swimmingly until I hit a roadblock, and I see it as a failure and see, well, what's the point of continuing, and just stopped. So I've had a lot of, couple steps forward, losing weight, great, and then gain it all back plus a little. So I had that song and dance, and I know the steps very well. But let's see. What really started to change for me is as I was watching my mom's health decline. And in 2005, right around when I was hit my top weight, so when she was visiting my brother in Arizona, she ended up in the hospital with pneumonia and congestive heart failure. And over the next couple of years, it was a pretty steady decline. She ended up having to have full-time care in a nursing home, and she passed away in 2009. I'm not going to go into all the details of that, but that was a huge wake-up call for me, because I knew that if I didn't change something, that was going to be a very similar path that I was going to travel down. So I made sure that my downward spiral ended there. And that's when I really started my uphill climb, fighting for hope and fighting to do what I needed to do. I love that picture. That was actually at the cafe that Will and I owned It opened up in 2009, and this, obviously, 2010. With that venture, it really helped push me into getting into a more healthier mode, because we focused on foods that were healthier, that were, from raw ingredients and not the processed foods. I did a lot of walking, did belly dancing, Zumba, yoga. It was an incredible journey. The progress was slow, but it was progress. Alright, now I've got an experiment. Everyone, I want you to close your eyes. Take a couple of deep centering breaths. Now when you open your eyes, I want you to look around this room and count the number of red items you see. So go ahead and open your eyes. Just kind of focus and see how many red items you can find. Now close your eyes. Think to yourself, how many yellow items did you see? It's all about what you focus on. If you have narrowed vision of this is my reality, you're not going to see all the opportunities and the awesome things going around. You're going to see what you're focused on. And the world opens up when you focus on the positive and the things you're grateful for. And it expands your world. And that was something that I've really worked hard towards building. In not just myself, but in my relationships with other people. Another secret of success that I have is focusing on streaking. No, not running around naked. To streak is to have a period of repeated success. And I was a heavy smoker. I started on a regular basis about age 15, and I was anywhere from a pack to 3 packs a day. And I did that for about 15 years. I decided that I had had enough. I had, tried to quit before, but I was going to take it one day at a time. So I took it day one. I made it one day without taking a cigarette, without hitting it, nothing, avoided it. I made it a week. I celebrated that week. I made it 1 week. I focused on the success and not on this is what I really want and all the negatives and the other. And it just progressed. November 27th of this year, 5 years without a cigarette. And it really helped to have that mindset because, hey, 2 days of successfully eating feels a lot better than I did a couple of days and then I broke my diet and all just went to hell. I mean, the mindset is completely different. And that's kind of, been the focus. Through quitting smoking, I discovered the power in celebrating the small milestones of being able to look back and see, I've had this amount of successful days. I changed the way my mind focused on making healthy choices, and it quieted down the mean little voice in my head that loved to shout the F word. Fail. And changing the focus of my thoughts made everything else so much easier. But again, it worked when I was consistent about it. And saying the positive affirmations and making the effort to love the person I am, flaws and all, has made an incredible difference. Let's see. Where's the next photo? I don't know if y'all are going to be able to read that. The top one says, okay guys, so you want to get in shape? Why do you want to get in shape? The first girl says to look good. The second guy, to feel good. And the third one, to be able to outrun the zombies. Love that. Let's see, from 2007 to 2015, I successfully lost 80 pounds. It's 8 years. So roughly 10 pounds a year I successfully kept off that weight. Which is an incredible accomplishment because I also quit smoking in that time as well. Huge. And 2015 and this year especially is when I really started to adopt the can-do attitude that I can do this. And if you'll, I've got affirmations and whatnot on the table out there, and you'll see the little logo down here, can the excuses and do the work. And that's kind of been our motto this year especially. Sorry, having a look at my notes. A year ago, in March of 2015, I got involved in a work walking program. They handed out pedometers and challenged us to do 10,000 steps a day. At that point, I was barely doing 2,000 steps a day, and 2,000 steps is roughly a mile. It's very sedentary. But 10,000 is the recommended amount. So I took up the challenge. The first week, I remember how much of a struggle it was, just to get to 5,000 steps. But I had great encouragers, and I kept track so I could see my success. I could slowly see the steps getting higher. And in that time, I actually had a wellness visit with a doctor, and she encouraged me to look into a program that was going on out in Manchester. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, the Markram's Loose Twin program. She told me that there was an entry fee, but they also have scholarships, and I went ahead and looked into it, and both Will and I got involved. And my initial weigh-in in September of 2015 was 340 pounds. And it was pretty incredible. This is the end of the first Loose Twin. And I believe I had lost 39 pounds in that 10-week period. And it's really involved as far as kind of what you need to do to be a part of the program, but basically you meet for 10 weeks and there's like an hour-long coaching kind of encouragement session, and it just encourages you to make healthy choices. Drink your water, eat a healthy diet. And from September of 2015 to March of this year, 2 sessions of Loose Twin, I lost 80 pounds. It took me 8 years to lose the first 80 pounds and took me 7 months to lose the second. And it's been an incredible journey. Absolutely incredible. And the biggest thing for me is to remember to just keep focus on the positive side. I try to read something or listen to something empowering or encouraging or inspiring every day. And set attainable goals and be able to see that I've succeeded in doing this, and I can track it in my successes. And that has been an incredible process that I really want to share. This kind of sums it up. I already know what giving up feels like. I want to see what happens if I don't. And I didn't. And this past session of Loose Twin, our team actually won, which was pretty incredible. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst and it sparks extraordinary results. And that's our team. The guy in the black and the jeans, that's Joe McCamey. He's the one that facilitates the Loose Twin. And he's a pretty incredible guy. Just repeat after me. I can do this.
I can do this.
Yeah. It's been an incredible transformation. I'm under 300 pounds, which I have not been since high school, which is about 20 years ago. And I'm continuing on losing the weight. Will and I are actually going to be blogging about our journeys, and we have a website called healthyprater.com. I know that I want to be able to help people find the success that I found, so people don't have to struggle. So that's why I'm getting up here and doing this, even though I am not very comfortable with it, but the message itself is powerful enough that pushing through. So thank you.
Thank you.